Man, that looks like crap. Boom! Less crappy. Still has to do. We made super janky yet ridiculously functional steel bracket that holds the entirety of the weight of this here Gigantor turbo. And by Gigantor, I mean this part of it is super fat. Then we took a bunch of junkyard exhaust bends, including Escalade, Silverado, Volkswagen, and Unknown, to create that. And we took the stock K20 exhaust manifold, cut it at the runners, and then flipped it so it did that instead of going down. Our new sponsor, Olympus Off-road, came by last night, and I was like, yeah, I'm trying to, reuse some of the pipes so we don't waste anything, and just, trying to save you a little bit of time. And he goes, no, we're building this all from scratch. We're doing this right. We're building it all from scratch. So, as much fun as it was to grind all this down and cut the angles pretty well, we're not using any of it. So, what I'm going to do I've been wanting to do it for a while. I've been itching at it. We're going to take this stock K-Series manifold, and we are going to attempt to use this as our turbo manifold. We did that on the V6 Civic. I took the stock Honda manifold and ran it to a turbo, and on one pull we made 576, and right now it's sitting at 430, I think. And we ran, what did we mean to do? I think an 11.6 or 11.5 on our little junkyard manifold. Our Miata cart, which is the first of our super janky manifolds. We literally took the Miata manifold, cut it, flipped it so it went up like that, and then welded the turbo to that. So this is like super duper janky. And this was our first attempt at getting super janky like that. So now that I have a couple under my belt, I think we can make this pretty decent. So what I'm gonna do is cut the runners off, flip it, and you'll watch the rest. All right, so originally I wanted the turbo to sit over here, which is kind of why I thought that was gonna work. The problem is this turbo is super heavy. It's a, this was what was on our V6 Civic previously, and it is a big, giant Chinese Cummins turbo replacement. So this housing back here is, I mean, at least 15 pounds more than the turbo we replaced on the Civic. So it's heavy. So what I'm worried about is supporting the weight with the thin Chinese pipes. Not Chinese, but the thin factory Honda pipes. So there's some threads down there, and I was thinking about doing something off the motor mount, and then there's an empty, sorry, I'm blocking the light. There's that empty hole right there. So I've got a lot of little points right there to build mounts off of, but I'm trying to figure out kind of where and how I want to do it. So I have some ideas. This is really bothering me. So I'm trying to hold the turbo. So I'm gonna take the body back off. I just wanted to kind of make sure I was gonna have enough clearance to do what I want. But as you can see, I mean, we can come out quite a bit more if we needed to, but I need to stay in about that or further in just so the supports are short and strong. So I'm gonna take the body back off and then try and make some progress. Okay, I have a plan. It's a little unorthodox, but so is that, this, that, and that. So I'm going to use this hole here. Okay, so new plan entirely, really. The turbo is gonna sit in the center, perfectly centered right here. And then it's gonna shoot, so boost, boom, and then I'm gonna have an intercooler go all the way along right here, probably a skinny one about, I don't know, maybe 6 to 8 inches tall. I'll go all the way over here, and then 45 up, and then 90 right into the, 45 up, 90 right into the intake manifold. So the reason why I'm choosing this, one, it'll look nice. Two, we got this big hole right here, right? And then we got the motor mount right below it. The only thing I have to work around is the axle that will go along here. But what I'm gonna do is basically make a plate. Let's see if I can, okay, I'm gonna go really fast so I can show you, because I know half of you guys don't like me explaining something. But, so I'm gonna put a plate right here that's gonna look something like that. And then this is basically gonna come out. The plate's gonna run along this. So a lot of the, and it's gonna be a triangle. So a lot of the pressure of the turbo is gonna be just pressing right against the block. So it's not gonna have really a weak point. And then it's just gonna bolt to here. And then if I see it fit to add another support from down here, I can, because it's all gonna be right here. So that's the plan I'm gonna get going. Looks like crap. Boom! Less crappy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's what we did. Here's what we still have to do. We made super janky, yet ridiculously functional steel bracket that holds the entirety of the weight of this here Gigantor turbo. And by Gigantor, I mean this part of it is super fat. Then we took a bunch of junkyard exhaust bends, including Escalade, Silverado, Volkswagen, and Unknown, to create that. And we took the stock K20 exhaust manifold, cut it at the runners, and then flipped it so it did that instead of going down. What we still have to do is weld this entirely. This is all tacked on, just wanted to show you guys. What we still need to do is run a support from this steel bracket down to the motor mount on the trans. That'll just keep it from, actually it doesn't wobble, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So basically, there's just one bolt holding this on, but the bottom of it rests against the engine block, so it can't move down any further, and ta-da. So I gotta finish welding this, probably do a little support back here, finish welding all that, finish welding that, and then we still have all of this room here to do the intercooler setup. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna level this out so it's straight or slightly down. It's gonna come down one side of the intercooler will sit there, probably in a flattish fashion or slightly tilted. And then hopefully, if all goes to plan, it'll just shoot straight back and then 190 degree into the intake manifold. Boom. Okay, so here's what's going on. Either this coming weekend or the following weekend, this Bug is going down to our sponsor shop, Olympus Off-road, and we are doing the cage completely down there, which will be really nice because we'll have all his nice equipment and none of my janky equipment. So the Bug is going to go on standstill right now because there's probably going to be a lot of little things down there that I've been doing on my own that he'll probably have a better idea about, and we can incorporate it into the cage while we're there. So the Bug, other than maybe tinkering around with the turbo setup, is on standstill. In the meantime, I have way too much to do on the Jeep. So that will be the next video. I don't even know where I'm gonna start, but there's way too much to do. So next video will be of the Jeep. Maybe I might get way too excited about that. I don't know. I like looking at it. It's nice. As I kind of went over it, this thing's super heavy and there was simply no way in the world that something like this was gonna hold the weight of this turbo. Mentioned before, it is a super duper Chinese hull set Cummins replacement, and this back housing is just, there's so much weight. I don't even know why or how, but so I feel really good about that. That'll take all of the weight off of this, and because a big concern with doing janky stuff like this is the piping will crack. That's probably the biggest part of it, is it's very thin piping. So this way the piping should not crack, and because that bracket is attached to the motor, when the motor flexes, all this is going to move with it. Nothing of this is attached to the frame, so it's all going to move with the motor. There's also plenty of room for the axle to clear above that bracket. That's not even going to be a worry, so this will be sweet. And then the exhaust, if we can see, hang on. So the exhaust will come out right there and basically just go down, and then gonna come right out about here and then probably dip down, or I don't know if it's gonna go straight down, if I'm gonna have room for the axle or what, but basically it's gonna make a U-turn straight down yonder, and then it'll do something down here-ish. So that's the plan for that. Obviously that in itself is a really long ways away, and I don't think I'm actually gonna run that turbo until we get all the bugs worked out. So I'll go to the junkyard, grab another K-series manifold and run it NA and just drive it around for a little bit and make sure all the little quirks are out. That's so far down the road, but just so you guys know, like that's gonna be what we're rolling with. But until I get all the bugs worked out, I'd like to just drive the car and see how it does. So that's the plan. Okay, that's all I got for you. Like I said, Jeep video will be next. I don't really know what we're doing, but there's a lot to do. A lot to do with the new radiator, the hood, tons and tons of body work, tons of wiring disasters. So I have no idea, but I'm excited to get back into it. A lot of you guys have come to the channel recently because of the Jeep, so I'm gonna get back into it. Bug will do its thing in a week or so, and once that cage is on there, that chassis is gonna be so sturdy, it's not even funny. I don't know if we're welding the Bug body to the chassis or if we're gonna try and make it removable. Removable would be really cool. I think it's gonna be really difficult. And if we weld the body to the chassis, it's going to make the body a lot stronger. Just there's a lot of pros and cons to both, so we'll get to that when we get to that point. Until then, that's all I got for you, so thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the latest super jank turbo manifold, and until next time, we will see you later.